It wasn't long after Robert Mueller spoke that we started to hear from presidential candidates about impeachment. Ex-Massachusetts Governor Bill Weld, the only Republican currently running against President Trump, did not explicitly call for impeachment, but said Mueller reminded Americans why the president isn't worthy of the Oval Office. Many Democrats, on the other hand, were more direct.
What I take away from what he told us is what he told us, which is that there was enough evidence that he would not say that this president is acquitted of the allegations. And I would suggest that he told us enough to interpret what he said as a referral for impeachment proceedings.
Yeah, the message really is over to you, Congress. Look, a lot of people were waiting to see if Mueller would charge the president. What he reminded everyone was he's part of a DOJ that says you can't, which means his option wasn't charge or don't charge. It was clear or don't clear the president. And he made a decision to not clear the president based on the evidence he gathered.
For those who want to think about it politically, think about it like this. What's going to happen in 2020 is that this president is going to say, if Congress does not go forward with impeachment, you see, don't you think that all of these folks who are always after me and investigating me and trying to get at me, don't you think that if there was really anything there, that they would have moved forward with impeachment? They didn't move forward with impeachment because I didn't do anything wrong.
Here now with more is CBSN political reporter Caitlin Huey-Burns. All right, Caitlin, this was so remarkable. We know that Elizabeth Warren was the first 2020 candidate to first call for impeachment, and she's still doing so today. But are we seeing any other candidates here changing their tones?
We are. Cory Booker is a good example, a senator from New Jersey. He had been very critical of the president and wanted to read the full Mueller report, but he hadn't really gone as far to push for impeachment. Well, that all changed after Mueller gave that statement, that 9-minute statement, and Cory Booker immediately released a statement saying that the House should begin impeachment proceedings. You also saw from Mayor Pete Buttigieg, who hadn't gone that far, going a little bit further in that interview there. But yet you have others like Joe Biden who aren't ready to go there yet, instead releasing statements saying that the president needs to be held accountable, that Congress should do its investigation, but essentially this should be decided at the ballot box. So not willing to go there yet, but still changing the minds for some other candidates.
So besides Biden, are there any other candidates who think Democrats should slow things down?
Well, interestingly, we also heard from Bernie Sanders, who had been reluctant to really go there on impeachment today. He said that if that's the route the House wants to go, he'd support that. Of course, he's in the Senate. You've also heard from some House members who would be in charge of starting these proceedings, House members that are running for president, and that reaction has been a bit mixed. You have people like Seth Moulton, who has called for, he's a congressman from Massachusetts, called for impeachment, but others like Tim Ryan, a congressman from Ohio, or Tulsi Gabbard of Hawaii have said not yet, let's not go there, trying to put out statements that talk about the severity of what Mueller put forward, but they're not ready to go there on impeachment.
So since last fall, Gallup has been polling Americans on what they see as the most important issue in the country. The situation with Russia has consistently polled at or below 1%, but the government and poor leadership is on top. So how does that actually affect a candidate's messaging choices?
Yeah, it's a great question, and it's what we've been seeing candidates on the 2020 trail do and Pelosi herself try to do, which is say, look, we want to provide oversight and government accountability is top of mind for voters. But on the other hand, they're really concerned about everyday issues like health care, the environment, their own financial situation. And so that's the balance that they've been trying to strike. And it's been pretty remarkable on the 2020 campaign trail that a lot of voters haven't really asked about the Mueller report. They haven't really been asking about Russia. They want Congress to do its job. But on the other hand, they care more about these personal issues. And up until now, we really saw all of the candidates really try to speak to that. Today, this kind of changed a little bit. You saw Kamala Harris on the campaign trail talking about this, Cory Booker changing his tune, even Pete Buttigieg. So I'm watching to see kind of how they react in real time on the campaign trail to this. We also have CBS polling that shows about 53% say that Congress Democrats should move on, but vast majorities at the same time also say that Trump should comply with the investigation and that Mueller should testify. So you're seeing that kind of reflected in our polling as well.
So Bill Clinton had already been reelected when impeachment proceedings began against him in 1998. Do we have any idea how they might affect the current president's reelection campaign if, in fact, Democrats decide to go that route?
Right. Well, this is what a lot of Democrats who were actually there during Clinton's impeachment proceedings, Jerry Nadler among them, this is kind of what they've been cautioning their members about, because they know what the political backlash for the opposing party at the time was after Clinton's impeachment by the House of Representatives. And so they're very much watching that. I've also talked to Trump supporters and allies who say that the political fallout would really benefit them if Congress were to start going down this route. Not that they're cheering in any way for impeachment, but they're kind of using it as something to campaign against. And so that's something also to keep an eye on, how the president starts talking about this. We saw him in 2018 talk a lot about how Democrats want to impeach me, they want to stop my agenda and block everything you voted for. And I think we're going to kind of still see that theme throughout the president's own reelection campaign, focusing on the Mueller report, but turning it kind of on its head and trying to paint Democrats as obstructionist.
All right, much more to come. Caitlin Huey-Burns, stay with us, please.